We're going to take you now to Boston, where authorities are giving an update on 23-year-old Olivia Ambrose. She was found alive today after going missing on Saturday. Let's listen in.
And thank you for your patience, for waiting on us here. And good evening. I'm Commissioner William G. Gross. And here with me this evening is Superintendent-in-Chief Greg Long with Superintendent Paul Donovan. We also have with us Deputy Marcus Settings and Deputy Sharon Dotton, and Transit Chief Kenneth Green. Wow, folks, we've had an extensive investigation into a missing persons report of Olivia Ambrose. And on Sunday, the 20th, the Ambrose family reported Olivia missing. As a result, we conducted an extensive investigation, which really began on January 19th, as Miss Ambrose left the Hennessy Bar at around 11:04 p.m. She was accompanied by a male that was later identified and eliminated as a suspect. Through various camera systems in and around Congress Street, we were able to ascertain that the victim was seen walking on Congress Street, where she was later engaged by two males. One of those males was identified, as Victor Pena, 38 years old, residing at 49 Walford Way in Charlestown. Twice, Pena was observed engaging Miss Ambrose on Congress Street, to the point where at certain points he was physically guiding and holding on to her. And at some point they entered public transportation, where they were eventually picked up on camera at Bunker Hill Community College. Again, video surveillance with the transit police and their surveillance system. They were then seen near Bunker Hill Mall on camera, and then near Green Street, and then seen headed towards Bunker Hill Housing Development. This is the point, folks, where we were getting information and gleaning information from not only the transit police, but the housing police and BPD, working in an extensive collaboration in search for Miss Ambrose. Throughout the night, fields were searched, the grounds of high schools, the buildings, even dumpsters. And again, what a collaborative effort between the Boston Police. Not only did Transit Chief Green lend his services, so did Superintendent Sullivan of the Transit Police, as well as Lieutenant Detective Gillespie. Again, throughout the day, the BPD, transit, housing, and I'd be remiss if I didn't thank the general public and the private sector too, that were constantly sending us information, which we were vetting in the furtherance of the investigation. Eventually, the investigation led us to 49 Walford Way, where Boston Police Department, with various units of the Boston Police, located the victim alive in the suspect Pena's apartment. The officers made entry and apprehended the suspect, and we were able to transport the victim to a local area hospital where she's under evaluation. At this point, we've contacted District Attorney Rachel Rollins, notified her of the specific facts of the case, and the suspect is now being charged with kidnapping. This investigation is ongoing as we have to interview Miss Ambrose, so additional charges may follow. Again, I can't thank the public enough, the Ambrose family. You never gave up on your sister, your daughter, your loved one, and the people of Boston never gave up either. As not only did they send us every tip possible that we had to vet, but words of comfort and support. And guess what, folks? This isn't just in this case. When we have missing persons in and throughout this city, we usually have a great amount of cooperation no matter what neighborhood. But today is a good day. Ms. Ambrose was found alive. And again, it's an active investigation. And guess what? I would be remiss if I didn't thank the media as well. From last night throughout today, the media, thank you for helping the BPD, and thank you for helping the Ambrose family, because you worked collaboratively with us until this investigation led to us finding, again, Ms. Ambrose in the suspect's apartment. Do we have questions?
Commissioner, how was Ms. Ambrose being held in that apartment?
Excuse me?
How was Ms. Ambrose being held in that apartment? How was she found?
Well, when we made entry into that apartment, she was observed standing inside of the apartment near the suspect. We eventually separated them, and the suspect was eventually apprehended.
Was Pena ever in Hennessy's? Is that where was there a first contact made, or did they just have a chance meeting on the street?
Well, that's what we're investigating. We're going to have to go back and glean from that video footage and also interview people in Hennessy's. Again, we picked them up on video surveillance. We picked her up at Congress Street, near North Street, State Street, rather. And again, the suspect and another male that's not identified at this point, who's probably a witness, we don't know yet. We still have work to do, folks. But that suspect was twice seen engaging Ms. Ambrose and guiding her, actually clutching her, guiding her along, until eventually they went into public transportation.
So it was the other unidentified suspect who was forcing her, or was Mr. Pena doing that as well?
That was Mr. Pena only that had his arms around the victim and guiding her along Congress Street. Hold on, folks, one at a time, please. We're ascertaining that.
So in the apartment, was she found tied up, or is there a way you can characterize, since she was kidnapped, is that because you saw his arm around her in the video, or was there something in the apartment?
It's obvious from the video surveillance that she did not go along willingly.
Was she resisting?
Let's just say she wasn't in a physical state, to possibly acknowledge going along with Mr. Pena.
Did she seem inebriated? Was she stumbling? What did she look?
Again, that's an active investigation. And again, we want to make very clear that it's still an active investigation. And in consulting with the district attorney, we know that we have the right charge.
Was she being held by any questions, folks? Couple more questions.
Didn't hear you.
Was she being held by any weapons at any point? Were there any weapons?
We did not see any weapons. But of course, we have to, as a result of a furtherance of the investigation, ascertain from the victim exactly how she was being held, or if there were any physical threats of violence towards her, her family, or anything of that nature.
What's Olivia's state now? What's her condition?
She's being evaluated at a local area hospital.
Is she in good health? Is she hurt? How's she doing?
She appears in good health. But as for state of mind, I cannot attest to what state of mind. Yes.
Did you have to force entry into the apartment? Did you have to?
No, we did not break down the door, but I tell you what, in our canvas, everywhere we went today, we knocked on doors and we knocked on doors and we knocked on doors. And again, the investigation led us to that suspect's apartment, and the officers were very diligent in their service, and they kept knocking on that door. And eventually, we did not force entry. The suspect opened the door. And then we observed the victim, and then we made entry.
One more question, one final question.
Do you have a motive
He didn't
yet?
get a...
Do you have a motive yet? The reason for
No,
this
we do
action?
not. We do not.
What questions do you still have in this investigation?
We want to know who that other suspect is, or if he's a suspect, he could be a witness. We don't know what his part was, but we did see him on the video. As well, we'd like to know if the suspect was in Hennessy's, all right? And again, if anybody has any information, this is still an active investigation. Please contact us at 1-800-494-TIPS. Give us any and all information that you have. And of course, down the road, we're going to look to see if there's any other victims that could have been abducted in the same way, or if there's any other report of crimes that we can look at to see if they match the actions of this suspect or any others that would do this.
Final question here.
We haven't ascertained that yet. Again, active investigation. And here's one thing, folks. We've been in law enforcement for years and years and years. Certain things that you can say at a press release can jeopardize the integrity of the investigation and and the statements could be deemed as prejudicial against that suspect's defense. So I'm not trying to be evasive, but I am trying to protect the integrity of this investigation. Again, thank you, everyone. You know, in recent weeks, we've had missing persons, and again, despite what people may think, people of Boston really are helping us out, and that proved fruitful today as it has in the past. And again, thank you to Transit Chief Green. You and your men did spectacular work. I thank you to Superintendent Chief Long, Superintendent Donovan, Deputy Eddings, and Deputy Dotton as they led the way with various units in and around Charlestown, downtown Boston, which is under the supervision of Captain Kenneth Fong. Great teamwork today. This is what we mean in community policing. The entire village showed up for this one. So thank you.
Thank you,